I'm getting ready. I've got my new entrant audit scheduled for, let me pull up a calendar. So my new entrant audit is scheduled for February the 9th. I've got to do mine in Mount Pleasant, Texas. And so they've already sent me everything. I'm planning on doing a full, like a video, just going over everything, which I'm gonna wait until it's over with so I can actually have more information. But just looking at the initial stuff, you've got to, so they want your records of duty status, your rods from your ELD. So how it works is the first contact was they emailed me, and then they asked me to call them to schedule it. When I called them, so I called them, and they didn't schedule it at that point. They asked for, what did they ask for? Oh, they asked for proof of interstate travel. So they wanted documentation that I had traveled interstate. So I'd crossed state lines, which a bill of lading is all I had to use. So I emailed them a bill of lading after I called them, and then within 15 minutes they called, and this is Texas, Texas DPS is who I'm dealing with. Or it's DOT officer in Texas. But so they emailed me and said that after I'd sent them the proof of interstate travel. So I guess if you have your authority and you don't cross state lines before your new entrant audit, you're not gonna be able to do that. So make sure you haul a load outside of your whatever state you're based in. But they scheduled it. They asked me if I was ready to schedule it, and when I told them yes, they didn't give me like a selection of when do you want to do it. They just sent me when I needed to do it. And so I've got to have the ELD stuff ready. I had to fill out all this information about the gross revenue for the first fiscal year. I'm just using the past numbers. If I get there and they need something different, I'll pull it all up for them. What else? Okay, so like your company, are you an LLC, corporation, sole proprietor? How many trucks and tractors? All the normal stuff you put in, you give to the FMCSA. Your drug consortium, whoever you use, and they don't just want the name of them, they want their name, address, and phone number. They want any officials that are like actual officers with your company. So I just put myself and my title as owner operator. And they asked several questions on driver qualification files. So just on this, there's a 6-page on the safety. Whenever I do the full video, I'll upload, because I've got redacted versions of these. I just copied them and I made a redacted version to take my information off. So for anybody that's interested in preparing for a new entrant audit, I'll upload these documents to probably a shared Google folder, so you can just download it and then you can do whatever you want with the copy. But so the stuff they really kind of get into the details that I wasn't expecting, just on this little questionnaire they send, is your driver qualification records. They ask on each one, so who's responsible for monitoring these files and where are they located? And I put digital files backed up in the iCloud. That's how I keep all my stuff, is just digital records. I do have physical copies of some things, but most all of mine is digital. So they also ask vehicle maintenance records, where are those files kept? Accident log and accident records, where are those kept? I don't have any of those, but the only record I have as far as accident logs or records is just like an annual review as a driver. I do it as the owner and I do it as a driver though for my company, is I sign off on a page that says all the violations, accidents that I was involved in for the year. So that's as far as I know, that's my only accident logs and records I have, because I haven't had anything happen. Who's responsible for monitoring hazmat? So I don't do any hazmat. So, and then they ask for a full list of your drivers. So you have to, I guess you have to put every one of your drivers. I mean, you wouldn't use these forms if you had a lot of drivers, but there's probably not a lot of people within their first 12 or 18 months that have more than 2 pages worth of drivers to fill in. Safety audit documentation. So there's just a bunch of stuff. Oh, so another thing I wasn't expecting is they want me to bring in, like bills of lading to verify the records of duty status that I send them. So they say you can bring in bill of ladings, invoices, load tickets, fuel receipts, weight tickets, or toll receipts. So they want your hours of service records, and then they also want supporting documentation to verify that stuff. So I'm just going to bring them like a Ziploc folder or a Ziploc bag full of all my bills from the past year. And then I'll bring them. So for your maintenance records, they also want evidence supporting documentation for your maintenance records. So I just keep a spreadsheet with anytime I do work on the truck, I log the mileage, the date, the location where it was done, and what service was performed or what part was purchased. And so they want something like that, like just a normal maintenance log, but they also want supporting documentation. So like invoices, receipts. So I'll just bring a bag full of my receipts for the year. And then driver qualification stuff, they want all that for, if you have 3 drivers or more, they want it for, I think they want this for at least 3 drivers. They want drug screens. So there's a lot on the drug testing stuff they want. But I'm trying to think, there was something else. So what I don't have, so in terms of a driver qualification file, this is where I might be lacking in some stuff. So you need an application for employment. I've got that. I just did an application myself. Medical card or medical examiner certificate, I've got that. Hopefully everybody has one of those. Driver's road test or equivalent. I didn't road test myself, but they say next to it in parentheses a copy of a CDL. So I've got a CDL. Inquiry to previous employers and their responses. I do not have that. I didn't ask Landstar. Actually I do. I've got a letter from Landstar that shows my safe driving miles, so maybe that'll be good enough to satisfy that one. But I didn't ask them specifically, like after I was, I didn't ask them for a driving record or anything. And driving record inquiry to state agencies. So I do have that because I just pulled a motor vehicle record report from the state of Texas on myself that shows it's my driving record. Annual review of driving record. So I do have one of those. I just signed off on one whenever I first started the authority that said my accidents and my violations from the prior year, and I plan on doing that every year moving forward. They say they need a copy of your medical waiver if you have some kind of medical issue. Driver training. I don't know that I do any driver training. So I don't have that. And a driver investigation history file. I haven't started investigating myself, but I guess I can create an empty folder and just say, this is the folder where that would be. I don't know. So there's certain things I don't have, but one of the things they say in their email is that there won't be any tickets written. So they're not going to write me up for any violations. And they say to call them if you have any questions. So it seems kind of what I would expect. I mean, there's a little more detail on some things, but Yep, anyways, so that's coming up February 9th. I'm not sure how long it'll take me to put the video together. It should be a pretty simple video, so it should be coming out probably early in February. So if you're interested in seeing what a new entrant audit is like, subscribe and you'll get a notification whenever I post that video. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.